Hi, I'm Todd Nathanson.
And I'm Lena Morgan.
And this is Song versus Song. This week, we are going back to the greatest year of all time, 2020. We are going to do Dua Lipa's Levitating versus Doja Cat's Say So. Or possibly Dua Lipa's Levitating featuring DaBaby versus Doja Cat's Say So versus featuring Nicki Minaj. You ready for this, Lena? You ready to go back to the best year ever?
It's a very seminal year for me. Just love that 2020.
And, because that was such a wonderful year, we needed someone else in the studio to help us unwind that particular moment in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have AJ Marks in the podcast studio today. Say hi to everyone, AJ.
Hi, I'm in the podcast studio. Ignore the difference in mic quality. We are all in the same space at the same time right now.
I count Zoom
Yeah.
as a studio. I mean, is it literally called Zoom Studio or something like that?
Oh, yes.
It's Zoom Workplace.
Oh.
And I'm sure that there is some manner of AI thing that wants to do something right now. I just am excluding from our business.
Well, I mean, it's called Workplace, so it's a place. It's a studio. Welcome. You had us on your show, which is tell the audience.
Pod Girl.
You had us on a couple years ago, and for some reason, I was so rude that I did not invite you on ours, and I'm so sorry. I'm glad to finally correct that.
I didn't consider it a slight at all. In the slightest.
Well, it was bugging me in the back of my mind. Welcome to the show. I have a whole giant list of ideas. This one I just came in off the cuff, and this was the one you wanted to do. What made you say you wanted to do this one specifically? Is it just recency bias, or do you have really strong feelings about Doja and Dua?
Doja
Lipa.
Doja is actually one of the few artists that I didn't grow up with that is in my upper echelon of pop stars. And it's interesting. It's proof that I can find pop stars I liked as much as the ones I grew up with. Because I do have a fear of getting older and then thinking, wow, the ones I grew up with were the best and there'll never be anyone like them. But Doja Cat, I think, really does have the chops to do that. And Dua Lipa, I really love this song. I really love this album. This is probably my favorite Dua Lipa song. It's definitely not my favorite Doja Cat song, but it's definitely my favorite Dua Lipa song that we're going to be comparing today. And I thought that this was specifically a good matchup for me because both of these songs I love a lot. I like a lot, I will say. I love these songs, but they're not my favorite of all time, but it's confusing. But Levitating, I went in to see before I did any playthroughs of for research and stuff. But Levitating I had 82 streams of, and Say So I had 94 streams of. So I felt like I had a good, I feel like I could come in with some authority of having, definitely listened to these songs a lot back when they first came out.
I mean, for me, it really takes me to a very specific moment in time. My pandemic apartment. That was when I decided I was going to just listen to the Hot 100 every week, front to back, just because what the fuck else was I doing? So it became the sound of the pandemic for me, these two songs. And Say So, I mean, technically these are both 2019 songs. Technically.
I think Levitating is 2020, but Say So is 2019, right? Because I feel like it was Don't Start Now that's end of 2019. But I always get...
Okay, that's correct.
I always kind of merge them together in my head as well because they both effectively did the same thing. One's just better than the other.
Well, I remember before the pandemic, in the early days of, I want to say February or something like that, I was out visiting California. I was in my rental car. Say So came on, and I think probably Don't Start Now came on right after that, and then it was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. And I remember thinking, it's like, well, here we are, a new decade of music, and the sound is 70s disco and 80s synth pop. And, so far, that appears to have held for most of the decade, I feel like. That is what the sound of pop is. So I don't know if you can call these, like, trendsetters, but it does feel like they were the exact kind of sound we wanted for some reason at that moment in time. And even when everything closed and all the discos closed, that stayed true. Like, even during the lockdown, we were doing TikTok dances instead to both these songs. I wouldn't know. I'm not on TikTok. I know at least one of them had a TikTok, but I don't remember which one.
Say So had a TikTok dance, because that's how I first learned about it. This is how I first learned about TikTok, actually, was Say So. I think it was like October of 2019, and my sister was showing me TikTok, which she was like, oh, this is the new name for Musical.ly. And I was like, okay. And I had barely had any like idea of what Musical.ly was either. But I think that's like what Musical.ly was it just doing dances to popular songs. I think that was it. I don't think there were any skits or any like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't tell anyone what Musical.ly was when I have almost no idea what it was. But I remember she was like, yeah, now it's called TikTok, and this is the song basically that everyone's like dancing to on TikTok. It's called Say So. And the first thing I knew about this song was that I was being tested if the rap verse was, because this is before the remix, if the rap verse was the same singer as the person who sang most of the song. And I wasn't sure. I like genuinely couldn't tell. But yeah, that was my first impression of it. And what's weird about these two songs is that they were very popular. I think Levitating was mostly popular, I think, in 2021, right? Because it kind of was like a late bloomer.
It was like the third single, and it caught like or maybe even fourth single. If I don't know where Physical came in there, because it never really quite caught on in this country the way it did in the UK. But it was either the third or the fourth single. But Levitating, I think, caught on right at the end of 2020 versus Say So, which caught on right at the beginning.
Yeah. But I remember it was just, for me at least, Levitating was like, as soon as it came out, I was all over that. But Say So, found it, end of 2019. So for me, those are like two completely separate eras of time. I was living in a different country. Like when Levitating came out, I was living in the UK. When in lockdown, and when Say So came out, I was living in the US. So I was just, I knew where the next pop song was going to be. I was moving to go find it. That's the narrative we'll go with there.
Yeah. And so, I'm glad I have you with these, because both of these songs for me and both these artists are like two of like the best, most talented pop stars of the decade that I don't quite feel. And for me, like I was early on Dua Lipa. Or at least I was for New Rules. I was like, okay, this is like the best new, and like I was so happy hearing Future Nostalgia all that year. And then when I got to the end of the year, I was like, I just didn't have room for any of her songs on my best list. And I'm like, I don't know. And then it just never quite happened for me. I was like, all these songs are good. All these songs are very good. All these songs are great. And then I just couldn't get there. And Doja, one of the most talented artists, rappers, like she's so good at everything, and yet I never quite felt her, and I've never been able to figure out why. And it seems like something missing for both of them for me, where I cannot quite bump any of them to like a main pop girl. For me, they're always just short, and I can't put my finger on why. So I'm glad we have you here, AJ, to I
believe Dua Lipa is quite tall. Sorry, I'm really sorry.
I mean, Doja is short.
Yeah, I was gonna
she
say,
looks small.
I actually don't know I'm like terrible with height perception. But I feel like I do think that Dua Lipa would be tall.
Yeah, Doja, according to Google AI, is 5'3". Let's find a better source. Okay, IMDb says it's 5'3". That's not much better, but it's. And Dua Lipa looks very tall. If she's
Dua Lipa's 5'8".
Really?
Wow.
5'8".
Spiritually, she's 5'11".
That is
maybe
surprising to
5'10".
me. I mean, like we're trying to find this on the internet. The internet lies.
I mean, Cher also is not as tall as you think she is.
That is surprising.
She's not as, she just stood next to Sonny Bono such a long time. That the perception was. Anyway, so.
Well, yeah, well, if Dua Lipa stood next to Doja Cat, I'm sure it would look pretty similar.
There's
If she stood next to me, she would be quite tall.
All right. So we always forget to ask this, but I'm going to ask this. Which is the better song?
I mean, I would say it's Levitating.
All right. We have one for Levitating. Lena, I have a feeling you're going to... We'll see. Lena, what do you got?
This is really hard. I want to be very clear that this is tough. Because Levitating is not... it's really hard for me to say, but I don't think it's my favorite song on Future Nostalgia, but like, so I'm of the opinion that there were like two genders of 2020 pandemic album. And like and those two genders are like the lean in and the, I can't think about this, like the fuck it, we ball. Anyway, so like Dua Lipa is the I don't want to think about this. Future Nostalgia was that. And like, the leaning in is obviously Fetch the Bolt Cutters, right? Like those are like to me, like there are two albums that came out in 2020. And those are the two. I focused more on Future Nostalgia because I was depressed and I did not need Fiona Apple to help me with that. So I think it's very hard for me to vote against Levitating. This is like so neck and neck. I don't even know what to say. Yeah. I feel like I'm like right in the middle on it because the thing is that like Doja Cat, I think that like the thing that you said, Todd, I think is kind of like a universal thing with her, right? Like Dua Lipa maybe didn't have the best last album cycle in America, doing fine everywhere else. Great tours. Like I'm not worried about Dua Lipa. She's doing great worldwide. I have always felt like Doja somehow is perpetually always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yes.
There's always just like one other artist that sneaks in and takes that award that rightfully should have been hers, right? Like it happens over and over again. I kind of feel like maybe this episode, it could be the exception because Say So is so good. And like, even though I'm not sure lyrically this holds up, I feel like, boy, I'm giving a long answer for this. There's a girl I follow on Instagram and she occasionally posts this thing and it always makes me laugh, which is like, she'll go, was feeling depressed, but then remembered my shit fat. And then she'll just like put her ass up on the table. And spiritually, I feel that Say So was depressed, but then remembered my shit fat energy. And that to me is important, especially in a pandemic. You just kind of need that as you're sitting there in that like whatever, like fucking schmata. I feel like everybody was wearing shapeless schmatas all around the world. I think occasionally you need to be reminded that you're shit fat. So I might give it to Say So. I'm right in the middle. It's very tough because Future Nostalgia was my album of 2020. Say So has got something magic to it. And also didn't need DaBaby or, to be honest, in my opinion, Nicki Minaj. Like it did for the numbers, but like I think the rap verse is good as it is. And like Dua Lipa's not rapping. Dua Lipa's spoken wording.
She's being the British Kesha.
She's doing something.
I heard someone on Pophead say that it sounded like she was doing a British Kesha impression in that Levitating bridge, and I've not been able to get it out of my head ever since. So whoever wrote that comment, fuck you.
I just like for personality, Doja Cat feels like she has to win. Like I love Dua Lipa, but boy, there are times when she just feels like she's nice.
See, I feel like personality wise, Doja is like a behemoth, right? Even in promoting this, right? Like promoting Say So in like a rock version at the EMAs and doing like,
oh my God,
and doing like
her finest moment
from home performances on like whatever white man talk show host was, you know, like doing like the Zoom performances. Those were so cool. And she was so innovative with like how, you know, artists would collaborate or push their music or promote their music in the pandemic. Right. And I think Say So just in general is a lot less insular than Levitating is. Like Levitating felt like its own kind of moment, and it I think is a much bigger song, but Say So had a much bigger impact, I want to say. However,
listen, I'm going to say this. Now that you have brought up that European Music Awards version, gosh, you know, we're so close.
like
we
if
did
that
this
was
like
the song, if that was the canon song.
Here's what I'm saying to you. If we were doing this episode in a post Beyonce rock album world, Say So's got it, right? Because you know if that album is real and that shit's coming out, you know there's at least one track that sounds like that version of Say So. At least one.
Or features Doja Cat. I would
or
love.
Or like that's the thing. Like, wouldn't you expect a Doja fucking feature on a Beyonce rap album, a rock album? What's wrong with me? Like it just seems like such an. Anyway, the bottom line is I am going to pick Say So with my future prediction in mind that Beyonce rock album is coming and Doja's going to be on it.
I definitely didn't see your pick having to do with Beyonce, but
but there it is.
There
it's in my head now.
I was going to say, so Doja personality wise, because you did bring up the personality, feels like she'll outshine pretty much any other pop star personality wise. And Dua Lipa, I think intentionally is very reserved as a pop star with putting her personality into her songs and, you know, into her celebrity. But in terms of these songs without cultural context, up against the Billie Eilish songs of the time, the Billie Eilish core songs, that it was like that scene that it was coming into, it was like a breath of fresh air. But up against Levitating, it seems very cold. Levitating seems very warm, and like everyone was having a lot of fun during that recording session. And Say So just feels like calculated a little bit more, and like maybe it's just because it's been around for longer, and like there have been so many clones of that song that it just feels like, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel as fun.
It's so interesting to me. I think especially just because like looking at Levitating as a song, I hear what I think that makes sense, what you're saying. I also think that just going back to that first pandemic year and knowing where she was coming from, there was like, if you go back and look at like the beginning of her career, right? Like she got like dropped off in the UK in like 2015, right? And like she's like finding her way and people are liking her and stuff like that. But like the constant conversation was she's got nothing to say, right? Like they would try to compare her to Lana Del Rey. They would compare her sonically. Isn't that weird? Like that was like it was that and Amy Winehouse, which if you go back and listen to her first singles, you can hear that like what she was doing with her voice at the time was very Amy Winehouse adjacent, right? But she didn't really have a lot going on. And like in this year in particular, because she was blowing up, because Future Nostalgia was like so successful, when you would see her like for tour stuff and what limited capacity there was, and then like live performances, there was always the same conversation, which is Dua Lipa can't fucking dance. And like this is always stuck with the energy of Levitating for me, is the awareness that like until like 2022, 2023, Dua Lipa could not and did not want to dance. Like when she would dance, it was like, I could dance like that. And I don't say that ever because I don't got the juice. But like, man, it was bad. And it is always weighed down that particular song a little bit for me. Like, it is kind of hampered the fun slightly because, like, yes, I danced in my chair throughout 2020 to this song and this album, but like Doja Cat can dance
very well.
And like, I feel that every time I listen to Say So. And like her rap verses, again, like to me have a lot of energy, like maybe a little generic in places, but like I enjoy them. I think that they really uplift that song in a way that like the British Kesha thing doesn't quite, like, I don't hate that. Again, like, I mean, the comparison people also make is to Blondie, and like, it's fine, but I don't think it quite like, and again, the DaBaby thing is like, at least it feels a little more of a piece with that song. The reason I don't like the Nicki verse is because it just feels like it's over in some other realm, right? Like, it just feels so detached from Say So to me. And like, I know that Doja was, and I don't know if she still is a huge fan, but like, she certainly was a huge Nicki fan, and it was a huge deal, and it was the thing that put that song over the top. But like, I've never thought much of that particular verse, and like, you take it away, and I feel like nothing is lost. I think you take away the DaBaby thing from Levitating, I actually think that song gets a little less good, to be honest.
I want to say real quick, the British Kesha thing. That's ridiculous. What are we talking about? No.
It's definitely
like,
not.
I can't. Oh yeah, absolutely not. Like, Dua Lipa, it seems like very composed at all time, and we're having a good time with her. But I never ever would compare them in a billion years. Like imagine Dua Lipa saying she's gonna brush her teeth with a bottle of Jack. What are we talking about? Like, is that not the most ridiculous sounding thing you've ever heard in your life? Like, she raps a little at the end of Levitating. It's good. I love it. But we're like, Kesha, what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, it just that one like comparison that I read just like completely cursed that bridge for me. I still love it, but it's just like, I do think I'm like, British Kesha, really? Like, I still can't fully get there. I see where they're coming from in a way, but yeah. And then also, Lena, something you said about Juice brings up the third hidden away sister of this trio, which is Juice by Lizzo. The song that should have been as big as these two, and that would have easily cleared both of these songs.
It felt so big to me, but it never charted particularly high. That's insane.
I think. And that was only after
Truth Hurts
and but when it was charting, that was around the 2020 Grammys. So it was kind of in this vein of the three of them. But if anyone's asking like who, really did the disco revival thing first, it was Ricky Reed and Lizzo with Juice. So I
mean, want to know who did it first? It's Daft Punk. But,
yeah, it was like 2013 actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then things took a weird turn for the from 2015 onwards, and then towards the end of the decade, it came back again. But
it was just like one summer. Everyone was like, let's do like Treasure by Bruno Mars, like Get Lucky, like let's
Blurred
do
Lines counts,
Blurred
whether we
Lines
wanted to or not. Yeah,
does kind of count. But yeah, it's like it was just one summer, and then everyone was like, okay, we're done with it. But this new disco revival, whatever you want to call it, of like early 2020 onwards, I definitely had a lot more legs.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, so we had Espresso a couple years after that, and that's I'd count Hot to Go in there too. That's kind of, but
if we're throwing it in like the 80s synth pop, like with the blinding lights and
and God knows the riff from the guitar riff from Say So is yet another kind of rip off of Good Times by Chic, of which there are so many. Dun dun, and then it goes a little different. But like, so many disco songs start with that dun dun dun. But
Kim Petras, there you go. All the Time. That's the song I'm thinking of. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
But Say So. So many clones, right? Because you had the Better Days song with Naked and Mueller and Polo G. You had even like Charlie XCX doing Yuck was the song, I think. Like the Renee Rapp and Megan Thee Stallion collab, the Shakira and Cardi B collab, the Saweetie and Her collab.
Oh, right.
Like, everyone wanted to do Say So, but I think the reason these feel like Say So clones as opposed to like Levitating, like Future Nostalgia clones, is because Say So specifically was like, I do think it's like that cold sort of disco production where it feels like it's like just slightly underwater. Like it's all kind of muted. It's the way that they compress the guitars, I think, and match it, and like where they place the vocals and stuff. It just feels a little bit more corporate, I would say. And I do enjoy it, but it's definitely like even Big Energy, which I know is based off of like built off of a Mariah Carey song. It's like I feel like that only came through because Dr. Luke was like looking around for a song that already sounded like Say So.
Yeah, I mean the Dr. Luke-ness of it all.
Oh yeah, this is the thing that like I was kind of trying to avoid, but I knew there was no way that as soon as I said I was going to take Say So,
it's like it's not there. Like
yeah, like I mean, there's no ducking it.
This is the song that ushered him back in, actually, right?
Yeah. I think he was never quite disappeared. Like he was always doing something, at least a little something that he wasn't completely gone. But this was like the big thing. It was like, okay, well, he beat the charges, so he's back.
I think it was before he beat the charges too, right?
No, I mean, like beat the charges to the music industry.
Yes,
like,
yeah. Because like before that, I think his last like charting song was it Ain't Your Mama, Jennifer Lopez in 2015, and that.
I don't remember that at all.
Very well. It didn't do very well at all. It's basically a Jennifer Lopez song that's only notable for sounding exactly like Meghan Trainor because she did.
Oh, jeez, poor Jennifer Lopez.
But other than that, like I think his last like notable song was probably like "Roar" by Katy Perry or something like that, something in that vein.
Well, he's listed on "Time of Our Lives" by Pitbull. I liked that song.
Oh, was that 2014, 2015, something like that? Yeah. Okay, so it's probably that one then.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I remember, like, this was also, well, no, this is later in the pandemic, but like, the big thing I remember Dr. Luke doing that was like so frustrating was Slut Pop by Kim Petras, which I like. It came out, I was obsessed with that record. Was like I could listen to this over and over again, and did for like days at a stretch. And then someone was like, it's a Dr. Luke record. And I was like, son of a bitch. And then Kim Petras was like, why are you blaming a woman for what a man did? And I was like, wrong answer, Kim Petras. Wrong answer.
Also, didn't Dr. Luke around this time not actually credit anything under his own name? I think he was using a pseudonym. Made in China. And I think he was made in China for the pop stuff. And then I think he was Tyson Trax for the hip hop stuff, which is its own can of worms. But I was he originally credited as Tyson Trax for Say So, or was he like fully Dr. Luke? Like I don't
remember, but regardless of what Dr. Luke may or may have done with Kesha, I've always kind of had problems with Dr. Luke as a pop producer. Like what he does works. It's it's the Michael Bay of music. He pumps it up and it's the catchiest thing you ever heard. And I don't know if it's always just a little too far for me. It's always a little too slick. It's always a little too much. Like Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. That is as Dr. Luke a song as he's ever made.
Not too much on Girlfriend. I love that.
And it's so catchy. It's too catchy for me. It's just over the line. And Say So, it's so slick. It is so, I guess, like polished and perfect that I have very difficult time connecting to it anyway. And honestly, I don't think the hook is very catchy, but like I literally found out what the song is about just now doing research on it today, because I never really cared what is happening in the song, like narratively. Like it's a song about, if you want me, say something, and I never noticed. Just because just goes one ear out the other for me.
I do understand the like too polished thing. I think that's what I was trying to say with like the like cold word is it feels like there was a version of this that felt a little bit more like Levitating, and then they just kept working on it and tightening up, you know, all these different little bits in the production to the point where it sounded synthetic. So that's kind of where I lie on that. Does that mean that you're leaning a little bit more towards Levitating?
I think I am. I think so. You know, I think so. But, you know, I don't have that problem with Dua Lipa. I don't have that problem, but you were saying there's a lot more Doja in Say So, especially when she really lets it rip on the verses, than there is of Dua Lipa in Levitating. I've never just quite gotten a sense of who Dua Lipa is.
Yeah, and so here's a... Go ahead, continue.
You know, you go ahead.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, you brought up Lizzo. Good poll. Not that this really sounds like anything, but like my 2020 song of the year was the one that featured Dua Lipa and the singer who had the other album I listened to the most, which is Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus.
Right.
And that fucking song is Prisoner. Prisoner
Yes.
was my song of 2020. Listened to it nonstop. Music video, absolutely foul. Loved it. Just like how, like a weird, like vampire lesbian. I don't know what the hell's going on, but like I loved it. I will never not love that song. Like that is a song that I come back to. Like I couldn't even guess how many times a year, every year since it came out. I just love it so much. And like the weird thing is that like even then I don't go like, I really got a sense of Dua Lipa's personality on this. Miley Cyrus got something interesting out of her, right? Like, but like it just worked. Like their voices kind of balanced well together, and that was very nice. But like, I don't know, man. Like the closest I get to her, the closest I ever get to her making sense is, I kind of feel like Physical is like when she really like goes in like real horny, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of there with it on Physical. Like that might be the song that I like most on that album.
Yeah, that's the fascinating thing about Dua Lipa on Future Nostalgia is it's such an album, right?
It is.
And that's going to sound like Harry Styles being like it's a movie that feels like a movie, but it's an album that feels like an album. And it's just interesting that it feels weirdly like no one would have expected this from the Dua Lipa who made Dua Lipa self-titled, because that album is like the most, and sorry to anyone who likes the songs on that album. Like there are a couple good tracks on that album, but I feel like that is the most like kind of like UK girl corporate package.
Yeah, sampler pack, right? It's a sampler pack.
Exactly. Oh shoot, there was something else that you were talking about. Oh, with Prisoner, right? That was like Miley essentially being inspired by Future Nostalgia, maybe not Levitating on its own, but like probably Physical, and wanting to just make a Dua Lipa song. And then she was like, well, fuck, if I'm going to make a Dua Lipa song, I don't want her to sue me. I might as well have her on the song.
Yeah.
I think that's what she said she did. And I remember this is like 2021 was when I started like it was like end of 2020, beginning of 2021 was when I started my podcast. And that was when I started interviewing artists. And I remember so many of them when I asked, what are you listening to? Like, what are you inspired by? You know, whatever. Every single one was like, I'm listening to Future Nostalgia. Artists, if you listen to their music, you would never know in a million years that they were listening to Future Nostalgia while they were making the music. And I just heard that until 2023. Like people were just constantly listening to that song. So even though Say So, I said earlier, has like this, had this bigger reach in terms of like clones and stuff. I think like with Miley, a lot of artists were listening. She was your artist favorite artist. Like she was,
Yeah, for
everyone
sure.
was listening to that album.
It was really wild, right? Because like it was so successful that like somebody who was like pretty unknown, Jessie Ware, had done a similar album, and it kind of like the seas kind of rose around stuff that sounded like future nostalgia. So like that record also did very well, in part because it had a similar vibe. And like to your point, like this is kind of the weird thing, right? Like I came in assuming I was going to take Levitating, and then I felt like no one's going to take Say So. So I am going to argue for Say So. But the cohesiveness of future nostalgia is incredible. The way that like future nostalgia as a song leads into Don't Start Now, leads into Cool, leads into Physical, leads into Levitating, leads into Pretty Please. Like it's just nonstop. It never gives up, right? It just does not quit as a record. Like I don't know that there's a lot of misses on this album. Like I feel like I like it almost the whole way through. Like it's really not until you get to like Good in Bed and
Almost
Boys
keyword.
Will Be Boys. Like that's like right at the tail end. But I think pretty much everything up to and including Break My Heart, like I think that's like 9 solid tracks where I can just like, once I start listening, I'm not going to stop.
This is all true, but like as I was, and I was re-listening, I was like, yeah, I guess I do like Levitating more than Say So. And I like Dua Lipa more than Doja Cat, but I'm more interested in Doja Cat. And like maybe this is a bad prediction, or maybe a thing I just shouldn't say. I feel like we've already gotten the best out of Dua Lipa. We got future nostalgia.
I agree.
I don't know how you can get better than that, truly.
And after that, I stopped being interested. I did not like Radical Optimism like at all. I just did not feel it in any level. And Doja Cat has never made that song that fully put me into her, but I feel like she still has it in her. And I don't know, like maybe Doja's window's closed also, because that last
it's really
album
tough to
didn't do
say.
anything. But
this is the question that has been on my mind since you introduced this, right? Like I keep thinking about like Doja Cat in conversation with Charlie XCX, right? To me, they both had a little bit of like a pop star of the future thing, right? Like someday they're going to release something that is so big that they're just like the it girl of the year, right? Charlie had it with Brat. It happened, right? That like to the point that like that chartreuse green, whatever the fuck that is, was like the color of the fucking year, right? And I was like, Doja Cat should have that, and it'll be hot. Like I just like it's crazy to me that like it hasn't happened, that it has happened for Charlie XCX, but not to Doja. Seems bizarre because like again, I like Dua Lipa. I think there's like 2 things that sort of feel like the thing that makes Doja a little more interesting to me, at least as an artist. Like Dua Lipa, they like want to make her like a movie star. She was in that like Argyle movie, and I was like, nope.
No.
Very likable. Again, like I like Dua Lipa. Like if I had a conversation with Dua Lipa, I'm sure it would be lovely. But I want to interview Doja Cat. I want to dig in with Doja Cat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's same thing. Like
that...
if you were gonna say like who could I see being like an actual like TV or film star, Doja Cat could do it, right? Like same thing. So like to me that like Future Nostalgia happened and was peak for Dua and was like really like a peak notable record and will be, I think, remembered as an important record in that one year. But Doja Cat has not had that, or a Brat, like is absolutely unhinged to me. Like it feels impossible.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Part of me says
continue.
Doja should not be trying to be a pop star, is my feeling. And like she has made pop songs that sound absolutely amazing. I'd include Say So in that. And it's just like it feels like this is not what she should be doing. She should not be trying to make her espresso. She should be trying to make her WAP. But like,
well, I mean, I think that there was at least at one point a time where she would have agreed with you, because she started to like, she did a little thing that Miley Cyrus does, which is she started to like act like previous records weren't shit.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Charlie
like
does
Miley
for that matter.
Cyrus, yeah, but like Miley like Plastic Hearts, great record. Again, she's got Prisoner on there. She like disavows that record, like it was like
and
one of
especially
the
Prisoner.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know what you're doing. You are not living in reality. Like, I don't know what to say about this, Miley, but like you are not living your truth. And I think that Doja also struggles with this a little bit because she'll also start to like disavow things that she did. And you're like, but that was good.
Yeah.
That's a part of who you are. And it's a good thing that you made. Like, was it like Planet Her that she started to piss on? That's like a good record. I don't know what to say about that.
One of my favorite records, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the other thing, right? Is that like Hot Pink is good, but Planet Her was like, I remember when that came out because that was still kind of like solidly in like pandemic territory, especially if you were like staying locked in for a little bit longer. So like that was the one that like really grabbed
but like
me.
I feel like Planet Her had great, like better songs, but Scarlett, she was just hungrier. Like, so Scarlett was like really where I found that Doja Cat piqued my interest the most as an artist. Like, I think she reminds me, and again, you see her perform Say So in the style of like, what was it? She did like a Marilyn Monroe kind of version of it. She did like a cabaret version of it. She did like the rock version of that at the EMAs. Like, she was bored with the song, like Miley gets bored of her songs, but she made it really fun for everyone else, right? Whereas Miley just decides to move on. But in that way, like, Doja reminds me a lot of like Lady Gaga and Miley in like the way that I think that she'll, even though V, her most recent album, definitely did not perform the way that anyone expected it to, including her and her label.
Unfortunately, I expected it to, and that's not a topic of of quality. It's just her momentum is winding down. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I mean, for example, I feel like the Scarlett produced 2 really big songs, but the conversation around her, you would think that it didn't produce any hit songs. I feel like that was a similar spot that Katy Perry was in 2013 with Prism, where she had Roar and Dark Horse, her 2 biggest songs of all time. And everyone was like, is Katy Perry over? And then we found out with the next
the answer was yes.
Album.
Yeah, the answer was
so
yes. Despite the fact that she's obviously had like some people that she's worked with that have worked with Katy Perry, like I still think that like I don't know that it's necessarily like a Charlie XCX thing that she does in the future, but like I don't know, maybe like apropos of what we were talking about for 2020, like does she have like a Fetch the Bolt Cutters in her? Maybe she does. Maybe she has like a real serious record, right? Like something like super personal. I don't know. I just feel like she's too interesting not to continue making worthwhile music, right? Like it's like,
or maybe A Star Is Born, right? Like if we're going on the Lady Gaga track, maybe she had her art pop with Scarlett. She had her Joanne with V. And I mean, again, it's not exactly the same. She's Lady Gaga was always the bride.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Doja has never quite. What are Doja fans called? I don't know. Like, do they have a name, a nickname?
They do actually, and I know it.
It's Katie.
Somewhere it has something. It has something. It has something to do with. Oh, they're called kittens.
Oh, not good. Not a good name.
No, definitely not. We need to abolish just like fan names. It was good with Little Monsters, and then Believers was passable, and then Barb's was at least interesting, and then it got real boring with like things like just Swifties, and Arianators is an absolutely terrible.
Wait, what was the one? There was one that was like just like terribly offensive. What was it? We were talking about
racists.
Yeah, that's the one
for Lana Del Rey. Yeah,
and
then Addison Rae.
Addison Rae. It was Addison Rae who the fans were called racists, and I was like,
no.
I think actually, like, if
they
we're
tried
gonna
that one with Carly Rae Jepsen too.
If we're gonna, yeah, but like racist to me, like when that happened, I was like, this whole thing where like the fans have names is over.
Yes,
I mean,
come back in a decade, but it's over for now.
Yeah, I feel like the whole Dr. Luke-ness of it all has kind of like held her development back. Like it, she got the hits at the expense of developing like a real sound for herself that would like give her that diehard fan base that she's never quite had. And like when I said like she should make her WAP, I was like, I don't know. For some reason, I kind of always got the impression of Doja Cat as a person is like a really foul-mouthed teenager who hasn't had sex yet. Like that's the like she can talk it. Like I don't know if she can back it up, or at least that's the impression I get. That's like not as like in real life, but like I don't know. She's always seemed kind of immature to me, and like not enough so to get that diehard fan base. Like, and I don't know. I feel like the comparison to Nicki also didn't help, because Nicki, is has been that bitch for like the longest time, and Doja is very, very, very indebted to her. Because like maybe Nicki got her that number one hit, which Dua Lipa has never had. So Say So didn't go to number one.
This is the other thing that's interesting, right? Is that like Future Nostalgia as an album.
Now.
Why she had that were actually number one?
Who?
Dua?
Dua's never had a number one.
No.
Don't Stop Now. Wait, Don't Start Now. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Was like number 2.
2, right?
New Rules was like 6 or 7, something like that. Levitating was 2.
Yeah,
no, she
kept
had
up on BTS.
What she's had is longevity. Those songs stayed on the chart for like ever. They just never hit number one. That's sort of the big claim to fame about Future Nostalgia, is that it had songs that just would not leave the Hot 100. Just did not.
I wonder if as an album it ever went number one.
We can find that out
like
now.
I would not be surprised if it also missed as an album.
That'd be wild. Yeah, I don't know. It's so like, I think that like that's one of those things that's like, I don't know that it matters. I don't know that it's worth inspecting in the why didn't one of these get a number one, because the answer is probably like bullshit industry nonsense.
It went to number 3. So,
See.
And can I, while we're talking, I re-listened to the Nicki version, which I haven't heard in a billion years. And I was like, no, I don't like this verse. I don't.
No,
I don't. I forgot how like out of nowhere it slams in. Like it was like clearly a cut and paste job. The beat is wrong. It changes. It's different, and it's not good.
Well, have you heard both?
Have I heard both?
Okay, so do you want me to rank the remixes?
Sure.
Because there's the DaBaby remix of Levitating. That's the best remix that we're going to talk about.
Oh my God.
Then,
wait, are we talking about everything?
Everything.
We're talking about both the songs.
The original, yes, then there's the original Nicki remix, which is the second Nicki Minaj remix of Say So. So it's like she put out a song that was the first remix, and that was supposed to be the official remix, and then everyone was like, this fucking blows. Like there's like a random beat switch for no reason. There's like Nicki phones it in, which this was like the very beginning. Actually not the very beginning. This was like maybe 2 years into her just phoning in everything. Because I think after she recorded all the songs for Queen, because I think most of the songs on Queen for Nicki, she actually put a lot of effort into. Everything since, it's been really hit or miss. And by hit or miss, I mean like 95% miss in terms of like her effort. And I think that people were upset that she phoned it in, even though it was a little predictable. And then I think that they had, quote, the original Nicki remix that they released second. And that was better because there was no beat switch. I can't remember I think there's a different verse too, instead of the original verse. But it's so hard because it's called the original version, but it's the second version. So I'm sorry if I'm going to mess this up. I think the first version was the one that said, what was it?
Used to be bi,
used to be bi, but now I'm hetero. Yeah.
That's the only version I know.
Oh, God, so bad.
I never heard the other version.
So
it's so
the
upsetting.
original quote unquote doesn't have the beat switch. It flows a lot better, but it's still like Nicki's part is like, it doesn't drag the song down. It's just like so like doesn't need to be there. So I think the Levitating version is the best remix. The original Nicki remix is the quote original Nicki remix is the second best. Then you have Levitating with Madonna and Missy Elliott.
We need to talk about this right now. We have to, okay.
You're like bursting at the
As
and then
soon
at
as we were
last
talking
place you have the first Nicki remix.
There's like one other remix of Levitating that I forget who was involved with it, but it's I would put her probably even lower. But so here is the thing, and this shows how out of touch with reality I was at the time, because like I listened to Future Nostalgia, the album, all the time. Listened to the DaBaby version of Levitating. I was like, I was in the know. I knew some stuff. I was reading an article today where they were like, Dua Lipa's like in an apartment, like not even in her apartment. She's like in a hotel because of some shit that's going on, fielding calls from Madonna and Missy Elliott about doing a version of Levitating. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I wonder why it never happened. I had no clue that this had actually occurred. And I listened to it today for the first time and was like, that's why I didn't know.
Yeah.
There's
Not
just
great.
it's not even that it's bad in like the absence of good way. Like there's just nothing about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Like Missy Elliott and Madonna are on the track, right? You would think huge. And at worst, it would be bad. Like it would be notably bad. Like you would be like, wow, this is embarrassing. I would rather that than what we got, which is just like Madonna's barely there. It just doesn't really like, it feels very phoned in. You'd think like it's fucking Madonna, the most important pop star of all time.
Well, I mean, she does lots of things with newer artists that don't really come off. So
I know.
Like,
I
she's
just
been doing
like,
it for like since 2003. So
I know. I still was like, it was her and Missy at the same time that I just thought like, surely
Yeah.
this is going to move the needle for me. I would have known about this. No.
I think Missy elevates almost
little.
every track I've ever heard her on.
Oh, sure.
And so even if she's like not there very much, like that track she did with Ariana Grande, that was just amazing. And then she has a song recently that came out this year with Kalani. Incredible, right? Missy has such a good history of features. This one, she is like, you just can't, you keep it's so hard because it's called the original version, but it's the second version. So I'm sorry if I'm going to mess this up. I think the first version was the one that said, what was it? Used to be bi, but now I'm hetero. Yeah.
that's the only version I know.
Oh God, so
I
bad.
never heard the other version.
So
it's
the
so
original
upsetting.
quote unquote doesn't have the beat switch. It flows a lot better, but it's still like Nicki's part is like, it doesn't drag the song down. It's just like so like doesn't need to be there. So I think the Levitating version is the best remix. The original Nicki remix is the quote original Nicki remix is the second best. Then you have Levitating with Madonna and Missy Elliott.
We need to talk about this right now. We have to.
You're
Okay.
like bursting at the seams. And then
as
at the
soon as
last
we were
place
talking
you have
about-
the first Nicki remix.
There's like one other remix of Levitating that I forget who was involved with it, but I would put her probably even lower. But so here is the thing, and this shows how out of touch with reality I was at the time, because like I listened to Future Nostalgia, the album, all the time. Listened to the DaBaby version of Levitating. I was like, I was in the know. I knew some stuff. I was reading an article today where they were like, Dua Lipa's like in an apartment, like not even in her apartment. She's like in a hotel because of some shit that's going on, fielding calls from Madonna and Missy Elliott about doing a version of Levitating. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I wonder why it never happened. I had no clue that this had actually occurred. And I listened to it today for the first time and was like, That's why I didn't know.
Yeah.
There's
Not
just
great.
it's not even that it's bad in like the absence of good way. Like there's just nothing about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Like Missy Elliott and Madonna are on the track, right? You would think huge. And at worst, it would be bad. Like it would be notably bad. Like you would be like, wow, this is embarrassing. I would rather that than what we got, which is just like Madonna's barely there. It just doesn't really like, it feels very phoned in. You'd think like it's fucking Madonna, the most important pop star of all time.
Well, I mean, she does lots of things with newer artists that don't really come off. So
I know.
like,
I
she's
just
been doing
like,
it for like since 2003. So
I know. I still was like, it was her and Missy at the same time that I just thought like, surely
Yeah.
this is going to move the needle for me.
I
I would have known about this. No.
I think Missy elevates almost
A little.
every track I've ever heard her on. And so even if she's like not there very much, like that track she did with Ariana Grande, that was just amazing. And then she has a song recently that came out this year with Kalani. Incredible, right? Missy has such a good history of features. This one, she is like, you just can't, you keep waiting for like the good verse to drop. It just doesn't get there. And I think that Missy replacing, if we had to rewrite history, it'd be great if like you kept the DaBaby intro of the left foot, right foot levitating, right? Like you had that thing, but his actual verse is replaced by like a good Missy Elliott verse. I think that would be just so sick.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I'll say I really love the DaBaby version the best of them. I really think the song's missing something without him. And after he got canceled, that he was the last one. He was the last guest rapper. He was the last rap guy you could put on a pop song and get things out of it. And once he was gone, there was no one else, and we haven't had one since. And there are like so many songs I hear now. I was like, this needs something right after the second verse, and but there's no one to call. They got no one.
Well, Doja could do it, but
Yeah.
she hasn't done it yet. Like
We've cracked the case. This is the solution right here and right now. You've got it.
Yes, this is how you bring Doja Cat
Dua
back.
Lipa and Doja Cat together.
Yes, because like, well, Doja, I fear Dua Lipa would not survive that.
No, I think
would
you're
get
right. As soon
eaten
as
up
I
on the
said it
track.
out loud, I regretted it entirely.
Because like Doja Cat could be, she was never really that features artist like Nicki was, but she could have done that because she did really good work on the song she did with Ariana. Because they did like 3 or 4 collabs within the span of like a year or two, and that was great. But yeah, for some reason she's just never wanted to be like the go-to feature on pop songs, and for some reason we have Sexy Red and Glorilla doing it instead, which this is nothing about, I don't know, this is like void of cultural context. I do avoid any song that has Sexy Red as a feature just because I just know it's going to bring it down, right? I wish that Doja Cat was filling that position, and maybe one day she will, but I feel like she's like too much of her own Lady Gaga type artist. At least in my head, I feel like, or at least she maybe in her head, she's like too much of like, I have my own vision. I'm doing my own thing at this time. I'm not going to be a feature. Yeah.
You know, we've been talking a bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. We really have.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think it merits it, right? Like,
Yeah.
these are two artists that I think like it's so like Dua Lipa is interesting in that she's not interesting. Yeah. And like, and Doja Cat is interesting. And the most interesting thing about her is that she has never been as big as you think she should be. That being said, I think we can do the 4 questions.
Sure thing.
Yes.
Where we?
Also, before we get to that, can I just say one thing? I think it's really funny that both of these canon remixes are so cursed now, and
They aren't
not,
they just?
not only did Nicki Minaj and DaBaby fall out with the general public, but also they fell out with their collaborators too.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very publicly.
Well, I mean, boy, I mean, Nicki has never been on board with any of her collaborators anyway, except fucking 6ix9ine. So like she's collaborated with every other female artist and hates every single fucking one of them. So, well, it is what it is. Anyway, let's get to the questions.
Yes, fair enough. Nicki Minaj, the most disappointing disappointment, perhaps in the history of the game. Anyway, all right. So we do these 4 questions after we talk around in circles for a while to hopefully make everything make sense. First question is a question of history. One of these songs is going to stick around forever. The other one's going to disappear like it never existed. For the culture, AJ, which song has to stay?
Like, if I were to pick the song, I'd pick Levitating, but if I were to pick the artist, I would a million times pick Doja Cat.
For the songs, like, I think we made a big case that Say So is the more influential song, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
it is
agree.
the one.
I just, like, for me personally, like, what I think should stick around.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question's not which one's the better song. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unfortunately.
I honestly think it's Say So just because there are other tracks off of Future Nostalgia. Although it is weird, like what happens if you take that song out of Future Nostalgia? Like what happens then? Where does that album go? Is it like a linchpin track?
It was the first song on Future Nostalgia. It was the thing that started the whole idea of Future Nostalgia. So it is interesting to think about.
I had not thought about that.
Yeah.
Yikes, that is scary to think because like if they hadn't cracked it, would the rest of the album just never have come to be?
I mean, the rest of the album probably would have been known as like the album that had Don't Start Now and then a couple other songs that never quite reached that level, which even Don't Start Now didn't even reach like a Say So level of like ubiquity, I would say.
No, I mean, it's got a shit ton of listens on Spotify. Yeah. I mean, it's over 3 billion.
Yeah. In the UK, it did, just not in the US.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, my instinct is to say so because it feels like it's more influential, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like Future Nostalgia feels so much like every single track kind of matters, except for the last 2.
Yes, we don't talk about the last 2. Actually, we only talk about the last 2 in terms of they should not be on the album. I don't know what she was thinking.
All right. Okay, next question.
Okay, it's one where you can be a fly on the wall, experience soup to nuts the entire creation of one and only one of these 2 songs, including the music video if you like. Which is the one where you want to see how the sausage got made?
Honestly, neither. Like I have no interest in finding out the process behind either of these songs, really. I guess I would want to be more on Doja, because Doja seems more fun to be around, or at least interesting. You leave you a story, at least. Dua Lipa, I just see her going in there as like, I made a good song today, and then I clock out for the day. I don't...
From what I know about Doja Cat, she is more of, and I guess Dr. Luke as well, I think they are both the kinds of artists to not really be as fun in the studio as much as just like, send this to me, I'll work on this at home by myself, and then I'll get this back to you. Like, and, you know, that unfortunately, like when I was making music was like kind of how I was, more so like I would lean towards that. But when you're in a session with other people, it's like, I would kind of hate to be that person too, of like, okay, just let me think about it, but I have to do it on my own. I get that vibe from Doja, and I have heard that from Doja, or like not from Doja, but about Doja. Whereas Levitating, you actually can be a fly on the wall, because I think there's a whole Song Exploder episode on how they made that song.
I don't know. I feel like there's probably like, okay, here's my analogy. You remember Al Gore? You know that guy? And how like he was so boring on the record, like when he was running for president. But
Didn't
then
you bring
like
this
you
up
get
in
him.
the episode with Andrew?
Did I?
Yeah,
I don't know.
think so.
Maybe. Who could say? The bottom line is, to me, like Al Gore, like once he wasn't that guy, like you found out that actually behind closed doors, very fun. A fun, funny guy. I bet you that Dua Lipa is a blast. I actually think that she's very fun, and I bet she's very collaborative, like sitting down, working on a record. I bet that's a good vibe room.
Yeah.
So like based on vibes alone, I feel like not like I would find out something really interesting, but just like I feel like I'd have a good time in that room.
You know, I think you saying that has unlocked something. Maybe the reason I find this, other than the backing vocals, which are just really fun, but the reason I find Levitating to be such a warm song, especially in comparison to Say So, is because I think it was maybe a few months into the song being released that song, maybe it was even a year, but like I associate Levitating with that Song Exploder episode where they did go track by track. And from what I remember from hearing in the episode, it was very fun. And so maybe I just think about that like false memory of like being in the studio with them and having a great time on a track I have nothing to do with when I listen to the song. Maybe.
All right. So that's where we've, all right. So we're going to say Levitating. Question number 3, Megan Thee Stallion getting up to a night. I can't believe we didn't talk about Megan Thee Stallion anywhere in this conversation. Like, I think she came up like once.
Oh, wait. I will say when we were talking about Doja needs to make her WAP, I don't think she needs to make a WAP. I think she needs to make what was the Megan Thee Stallion song that went number
Savage.
one? No. The most recent one to go number one, the Nicki Minaj diss. Hiss. Yes. She needs to make a hiss.
That
Anyways.
I feel like she'd be much closer to making her savage at the very least than her WAP. So I feel like that was a better analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Megan Thee Stallion getting up to a night of hot girl shit, putting on a playlist, getting ready for said night of hot girl shit. One of these songs is on it. Which one of these songs is hot girl shit? I feel like this is pretty obvious.
Is it?
I think it is. Am I crazy?
Is it? What are you talking about?
I was gonna say Levitating, but I feel like you're gonna say So.
I can't believe that.
I had no idea which way either of you were going to say. Like, how is this an easy choice?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. To me, it's definitely Say So.
Well, I mean, boy, this is going to be hard for Megan Thee Stallion because she cannot get down with either of these guest rappers. Oh, no. Poor.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have to listen to the guest rap version of either.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, okay, so no DaBaby and no Nicki.
Yeah. The guest rap. Yes, that makes sense.
I don't know. Well, I mean, she already did something with Dua Lipa, and it was pretty bad. So I guess I will go with Say So.
That's right. I completely forgot it. Oh God. Boy, Dua really had a tough time.
And then they made a really expensive
there was a
music video
really
to make
tough
it worse.
time. Like the closest she got, like, was the song off of Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I really thought Electricity that she did with I want to say it was Diplo or one of his projects, but like Soul City. Yeah, I really like that one. I think honestly, if I were to pick one Dua Lipa song to listen for the rest of my life, it'd be Electricity. I don't know why that one wasn't huge, but
interesting. I don't know. I stand by it. Like, I'm going to stick by my original thesis, which is that Say So spiritually was feeling depressed. Remember my shit fat energy, like that. It's that. And if I stand by that, and I do, then I feel like that has to be the Meg one, right? Like that has to be that for her.
Sure. Final question. I've lost count.
Final question.
You did it. The fourth and final question, most important question we ask, not just in the show, but in all human history. William Shatner, thespian, equestrian, singer, we're going to give it to him. He's going to do a William Shatner version of one and only one of these two songs. Which one of these songs must be shat upon? Todd?
Boy, sorry, I can only hear him saying, pop star, Dua Lipa with DaBaby. And
Great, yeah, he can take the verse.
yeah,
Yeah, he's taking the guest verse. We got it.
kidding, I'm a rocket.
That's a perfect
Gonna blast
answer.
off. Dance my arse off.
Oof. Worst part of that song.
Worst
Yeah.
part, best part.
Yeah, I actually like that part.
Yeah.
I can't. No, it's a little too much for me.
I think
Yeah.
I think that reasoning resonates with me. I think definitely like the British lingo too. Yeah, I'm gonna go levitate. I feel weird that I'm picking levitating for all of these. I think throughout this podcast, like it was tough, and then throughout this
Yeah.
podcast, I'm like, I have listened to it less, I've streamed it less, but it is. I think it's just definitely my favorite song of the two. Like I've just only been making the case for levitating somehow.
Hold on. Like it, love it, need it, bad. Take it, own it, steal it, fast. Boy, stop playing, grab my ass. All of that body, ass, and titties.
Oh wait, what about the
You've
Nicki
made me
Minaj
so
verse?
sick.
Used
The
to be
Nicki
bi,
Minaj
but
verse
now I'm
actually-
just
wait.
hetero.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
You know, I meant to say this, and I don't. You know, it's probably time past, but like the Nicki verses are not good on this, but like she sings a little, and I love hearing Nicki singing voice. She's got such a beautiful singing voice, and that one moment where she adds a little bit of a bridge, sung bridge, I would keep that in. I think that's very, very nice. But boy, that verse.
I really don't mean to be mean, but were you being genuine?
No, she's got a beautiful singing voice, Nicki Minaj.
Oh, I really hate her singing voice.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's
a crazy thing to say.
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think she can sing for shit. I'm gonna be fully
That's
honest.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
her-
crazy.
Like what's that? Is it piano, or she has like Marilyn Monroe? Like any of the songs that are mainly her singing. Oh, I
don't like the songs she sings, but like I think she has a very nice voice.
I don't know. I disagree, but it is interesting that I do find it very fascinating that you appreciate her singing voice.
Yeah.
I kind of want to give it to Starships. She kind of sings on that one.
Yeah. I don't like that song. But
Okay, whatever. I like Starships.
yeah.
Starships, I like. That's like, we're definitely treading old territory. I've definitely talked about Starships in the past.
all right. Well, anyway, that was the questions. We are looks like we're leaning some way, but like let us take it to the commenters. The commenters have this to say. Lucas writes, Doja Cat
Dr.
said
Lucas, sorry.
Oh god damn it.
No, don't do that to Lucas.
All right.
Sorry,
Lucas writes, Doja Cat said she'd show her boobs if Say So wins song versus song. I don't know if you remember this, but like she said she'd show her boobs if she hit number one.
Yes.
And
then she backtracked to feet, I think, and then she didn't do either or something like that.
Listen, I respect her not doing the feet thing.
Yeah.
Right decision. Never do that for free. Are you crazy?
Jess added on to this.
The grippers for nothing? You can make a fortune on those things.
Yeah. Jess added to that comment. She in racial chat rooms showing boobs. Nothing, you guys. You don't remember that one?
Please move on.
She did show feet in racial chat rooms allegedly.
Yes. Allegedly. That's
So for free.
God bless Noriega, rapper from the 2000s, who said that she in racial chat rooms showing feet. A late career masterpiece from a veteran. All right. Fly My Winged Monkeys writes, I'll take without Nicki Minaj, please. And not with this poll. I mean, just like generally in life going forwards.
Nicki just needs money, guys. She just needs money. Real bad.
Does she? I mean, I don't know her spending habits. All right. Skips Bop writes, Levitating is the better song. Why? Because I say so. I love you guys. I really do. All right. Joe Frangles writes, oh, yeah, sure. Let me just choose which part of my DNA is more load-bearing. Easy. I don't know. You know, I feel like if you are the right age for it, like these could like be a part of your DNA. I get it. But we're old, so.
I was going to say I think that I'm 28. So like for me, it would be like, sorry, I know that I'm 28. I was going to start a different sentence. I'm 28. So for me, that would be like California Girls and some other song around the Bad Romance or something. Right. So I get it. I understand that comment. That's it. That's so interesting to think about though. Like when was the best time to be in middle school?
It was the 90s. Trust us, we were there. Anyway. All right. Yerpel writes, Say So is what plays in the liminal backrooms of Zara. It reminds me of all the horrors of pandemic poptimism. I don't know what that means, but I loved the sentences so much, so I decided to read that one.
It's pretty good. I don't think of Zara very often, I have to be honest.
Zara's a store, right?
Yes, it is. I didn't even know Zara still exists.
It's much more popular overseas because they have. I've heard from my American friends that like because we all went to London together, and they were like, "Oh, you have to go to the Zara stores in London. They're so much better over there." And I was like, "What?" Because like I lived over there, and they didn't really stand out to me, but apparently anyone listening to this, if you're over in the UK, you have to go to the Zara's over there.
Amazing. I will say that when I got married, I was wearing a Zara suit, a suit from Zara. There's some deep lore for you that no one will care about.
That is not what I thought we would get from this podcast.
No,
Yeah.
Wedding lore.
All right. Charlie MCM writes, great name, by the way. Charlie MCM writes, next episode can be these two remakes, Dance the Night versus Kiss Me More. I like Dance the Night just fine. It is like all of Dua Lipa's Imperial era stuff, a good 7 or 8 out of 10. Kiss Me More, I think, is actually better than Say So. Yeah,
I think I would 100% say Kiss Me More is better than Say So. And you're right, the other way around, where it's like Dance the Night comes close enough for a song from the Barbie movie to...
Yeah, like all of Dua Lipa's songs were fine to me the first time I heard them, and like really good the 200th time I heard them. So they are that's a rare feat to make songs that sound better every time you hear them, even if I never quite loved them. That's why they stuck around for fucking ever. Right. Emma Bowd writes, what I'd give to hear John Travolta Adele Dazeem the shit out of pronouncing this matchup. It's a Dua Flip versus Deja Koi. Oh, man. Gal Hazor writes, next episode, early pandemic hits, Spanish flu edition. I predict a 60-40 split for Hello Central Give Me No Man's Land versus If He Can Fight Like He Loved Goodnight Germany from the 1910s.
How much research did you do?
I don't know. Gal knows her 1910 songs.
I'm asking our commenters.
Yes. We have the best commenters. Right. Christian Ricewig writes, I can't believe I'm starting to feel regular nostalgia for future nostalgia. Future nostalgia did not seem like future nostalgia for me at all. It sounded like pretty normal nostalgia for like the past.
But it was pretty pathetic how,
we were nostalgic for it in the future, so there you go.
Yeah, that we were going to... No, but like that, it also kind of did indicate which direction the future was going, maybe...
That's fair.
I'll give that to Dua.
Gone writes, Dua Lipa seems to have reached her potential. Doja Cat could have been way more than what she ended up being. Having both Say So and Moo in your discography is one of the biggest get you someone who can do both combinations of songs ever. So I'm voting for Say So because it takes me back to when I had Doja Cat's entire career ahead of me. Remember Bitch I'm a Cow? Good shit.
I'm getting a theme of Doja did less than it was clear that she was capable of, and Dua Lipa did way more than anyone assumed that she was capable of.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
when she was like in 2016, like doing like really low rent shows, wearing like a tiara and a Barbie bitch t-shirt. Like, I don't know that anybody was sitting there thinking that she was going to hit the future nostalgia point, right? I don't know that
Yep.
anybody was sitting there going like, she's got this. Although it is prophetic that she wore a Barbie bitch t-shirt
I was
in 2016. Like that is
thinking
like
yeah.
a literal thing that she did. Like that was like at least at some point the uniform well ahead of her doing a song for Barbie the movie, which is kind of interesting.
All right. Horse 9000 writes, I have a rare brain disease called good taste, and therefore Hot Pink was an instant classic record for me. Sadly, I know many others are not so afflicted. Big fan of Bottom Bitch. Horse 9000 is, I'm sure. All right. All right. Franco Del Rosario writes, it's a shame we never got a Say So music video featuring one of Nicki's trademark couldn't give less of a shit green screen appearances, which is what that verse deserves.
Ooh, I do have a hot take on that. There are many Nicki Minaj green screen music video appearances that I actually think, like, even though it's clear that she green screened it in because you can compare it with all of her other music video appearances, I think that many of them do work. Many of them do find like a good. Actually, no. I'm thinking the two that come to mind. Actually, she was there for, so maybe not. I'm thinking like maybe I'm thinking of the only two that she actually showed up for on set, which is I think a Kim Petras song and a Meghan Trainor song. Of all the artists to show up on set for.
Oh man. All right, one last comment. This one comes from Sandy. Sandy writes, go on, Todd and Lena, give us nothing. Always for you. That is what we give you every week, and also go on, give us nothing versus she and Racial Chat Room showing feet for best meme.
Yeah, which meme has the longer lasting impact?
Oh, I love go on, give us nothing. That's entirely useful. All right.
Go girl, give us nothing. Okay.
That'll outlive Dua Lipa's longest living song, I swear to God. But, okay, that was the last of it. We're done. All we have left is the results. Lena, AJ, who do you think won? By how much?
I think so many people voted against Dr. Luke. I think there were lots of votes that did, like, as much as like they might factor in like the quality of the songs, I feel like many people, and like this is not what I did when I voted against the Dr. Luke song, but I think a lot of votes may have factored that in. So I think Levitating won.
Lena?
I think that's probably right, which makes me so sad. I came to this thinking like maybe she's the bride this time, but I don't think so.
Here are the actual results. For a total of 726 to 268. It's a blowout. It's a crusher. 73% to 27%. We are levitating with Dua Lipa and DaBaby.
Wow.
We've had two matchups in a row that came down with like 3 votes difference. So we had to have a blowout eventually. Here we are.
I did not think it was going to be that. I didn't think it would be this.
Yeah, I forgot people were going to factor that in because, like, just based on the songs, I would have given it, like, 52-48 to Levitating. But, oh, man.
Without that, I would have thought Say So would have won. Without, like, the whole... Because a lot of people do credit Say So with Dr. Luke's, like, career revival, and so they hate this song for that reason, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that is what happened, so... well, there we are. That was Song versus Song. Thank you so much. If you want to check out AJ Marks' stuff, what's the name of your podcast again?
Go listen to me.
Good God.
No, that was me handing it off. I know what the name it is.
Very funny. It's called Main Pod Girl, like Main Pop Girl, but podcast. But yeah, a lot of people call it Main Girl Pod when I get emails of artists trying to be on the show. So Main Pod Girl, we do interviews with pop stars and music commentators and songwriters and the like. Even a few actors and drag queens here and there. It's sometimes we're having Lena and Todd, on the show to discuss what it was we were discussing. It was like we made like a timeline of like 50 years of cultural resets.
Cultural resets, yes.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one. And sometimes, it's like sitting down with Zara Larsson and talking about her latest project. So
Zara Larsson, man, it's weird that she didn't come up in this episode.
Yeah,
she very solid because she dates all the way back to like when Dua was first like getting big and really has not like truly. I feel like she's hitting now.
The Hidden Fourth Sister All the Time by Zara Larsson, which is better than any of the songs we just named.
Wow.
Such a good song. Sorry.
I'm going to ask this question because of what you, I think, often discuss. And because you're obviously like involved with the pop heads subreddit, like, has there been a Future Nostalgia great album this year yet? Almost halfway through this year, has there been an album quite like that yet?
Like in terms of like the pop culture, like in terms of the zeitgeist, or in terms of like my personal like music taste?
I kind of want to factor zeitgeistiness into it.
Then
like something that you feel like there's an album that people just really are listening to start to finish. That's like an actual pop album, like a Tracks on Billboard kind of album.
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. Nothing pops to mind about any big pop album from this year. Wait, why am I forgetting all the pop albums that came out this year? But nothing.
Well, I mean, it's not like this
that.
Music may contain hope, which you'd think like if it was going to be something, it might have been Ray.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that, right? Because that's like, I feel like that's like similar energy to Dua Lipa somehow. It feels like in conversation.
The only one that I found, and this is where we're getting to my personal taste, the only one that I found that like personally sticks with me from this year, like really, really resonates with me, was the Naomi Scott record. But that was,
it's a good pick.
And then a lot of the best albums from last year came out at the end of last year. Stage Girl by Eli, Total Sellout by Jay Stevens, stuff like that. So I feel like I've been mostly just listening to albums that technically were released last year. But yeah, nothing from this year has been like, nothing from this year has like really stunned me in the way, like in a big cultural way, the way that Future Nostalgia did. I don't think anything has since 2024, actually. I don't think anything was like a Future Nostalgia of last year. I think the last big one was like Short and Sweet, maybe.
Yeah, that feels... Well, anyway.
Sorry.
where we can find you, Made Pod Girl. Do you want to give your socials or...
Nope. We can leave the socials out of this. But,
all right, great. I love that.
Girl.
Well, you can find us on Patreon, where you can give us some money and you can get our bonus episodes. Every month, you guys make us watch some goddamn thing. For some reason, you made us watch Heated Rivalry this month. I haven't started yet. I'm going to knock that out in the next couple days.
Worth it.
Boy. And you can vote on the next one also. You can support us. We need your support. We love you. And if you don't want to support us, but you want to support something that actually matters, we are going to have some trans charities you can also donate to in the description. So, things are bad. You can make things a little better. And is that it? We covered everything?
I think so. If you're looking for a feel-good album that's not in the zeitgeist but should be, listen to Switcheroo by Jelly Haha, especially like Bounce House and the track that follows it, which is called Piss Artist. You're welcome.
All right. And finally, one last thing. We are, of course, doing the next episode. Lena, you ready? And for the record, this makes sense to me, and I don't care if it makes sense to you.
All right. Well, then I'm ready. If you're saying that, does not bode well.
We're going to be doing "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon versus "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac.
What the fuck?
All right, we'll see how that goes. I think that works. All right, we'll see you again.
Boo.
Bye, everyone.